Hello crafty friends and welcome back to my channel. Today's project is a little different from my usual style and well, it's inspired by a personal story that's really close to my heart. Well, I'll be creating a scrapbook style card front using supplies from the new simonsaysstamp June 2025 Captured Joy card kit of the month. I'll have links below to all the products I'm using today to put together this beautiful scrapbook style layout. Let's begin with the gorgeous set of pattern papers. Now, here I have 12 double sided 6 by 8 inches pattern papers from the Simple Stories Vintage Flower Shop collection. These 65-pound cardstock sheets are brimming with charm, featuring florals, butterflies, vintage cameras, and lots more. All in lovely color palettes. We have beautiful browns, pinks, greens, whites, blues, and purples. I'm absolutely smitten with these designs. They are not only perfect for card fronts, but also great for tags, journals, photo frames, or even dimensional shadow box projects. You will find a lovely variety of prints from whimsical butterflies to delicate florals to classic wood grain textures and vintage inspired patterns. One of the sheet even includes beautiful elements perfect for cutting into dies or layering on scrapbook pages. Honestly, how could you build an entire layout just from this set alone? I'm especially looking forward to fussy cutting all those beautiful butterflies here and the other motifs to highlight on my cards. Now, I love working with pattern papers, but when it's double sided and every design is so beautiful, it becomes so hard to choose which side to use. It's one of those times when you almost hate to cover up everything. Now, just a note here that this 6 by 8 set isn't available for individual purchase. However, I'll link to the coordinating 12 by 12-inch paper pack from the same Vintage Flower Shop line. That version is actually a full kit complete with pattern papers, matching stickers, and ephemeras, making it even more versatile option for your crafty stash. Now, let's take a look at the stamp set that I'll be using for today's project. This is the modern scrapbook stamp set and it comes with coordinating dies that will cut out the Polaroid style frame, the florals, and most of the sentiments that are included in the set. For my card today, I use this very old photo of my husband and me, which I have paired with the large Polaroid frame die. This combination will serve as the main focal point for our card today. To be honest, I hadn't originally planned on creating a scrapbook style card today, so this photo was a last minute print. I ended up using a regular printer paper. If I had planned ahead, I would have definitely gone for a higher quality photo paper for a better finish. For the Polaroid frame, I chose one of the beautiful floral pattern papers from the collection. I absolutely love the soft, delicate colors on it. They add such a lovely touch of elegance to the overall design. Now, before stamping, I decided to die cut the inner window of the Polaroid frame, the area where the photo will show through. I wanted to get the alignment just right, so I did the die cutting first to ensure that the frame and the window matched up perfectly with the stamped outline. I then placed the die cut frame into my Altenew stamp wheel and stamped the Polaroid outline and a tiny little sentiment that says, "So glad you're my person," both using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. I'm going to set the frame aside for a bit to let the ink dry before die cutting the entire piece. In the meantime, I'll work on adding some embellishments and florals to the design. I stamped this adorable washi tape image with heart details using bubblegum Simon Says Stamp Positively Saturated ink, then cut it out with the coordinating dies. Off camera, I also prepared a bunch of floral die cuts with soft pinks and purples, along with a few leafy greens. While you can absolutely stamp the florals and then die cut them out, but I opted to use colored cardstocks instead. It's a great time saver and still looks beautiful. At this point, my Polaroid frame is completely dry and ready to go. I used liquid glue to adhere the photo behind the Polaroid frame. If you'd like to turn this into a shaker card, this is the perfect stage to do it. Simply add a piece of acetate, which is also included in the kit, behind the frame, and then build up the edges with foam tape and add some sequin mix along with the photo to create a fun, sparkly shaker window. Once that was in place, I trimmed off any excess photo paper sticking out around the edges of the frame using a pair of scissors. With the frame all ready, I went ahead and added the little die cut washi tape embellishment on top. I just love how pretty it looks. This is such a fun design that you can easily recreate not just with photos but also using die cut sentiments, floral elements, or butterflies from the pattern papers. The possibilities are endless here. Next, it was time to choose the perfect background for our scrapbook layout. I tested the Polaroid frame against several of those beautiful pattern papers, trying to find the best match. In the end, I decided to go with the lavender polka dot paper. It paired so nicely with the bubblegum pink washi tape embellishment. At a point, I was also thinking about using that paper with the butterflies, but I'm so glad that I stuck with the lavender paper. The soft lavender tones and the playful polka dots gave the entire layout a very clean and simple aesthetic that I really loved. I'll admit this was a tough design decision for me as someone who usually sticks to clean stamping and die cutting. Stepping into the world of scrapbook style layouts was definitely a creative challenge, but also a fun one. To really bring this scrapbook style layout to life, I wanted to create some dimension and visual interest by layering different elements together. I began by selecting a few coordinating pieces of cardstocks and pattern papers from the kit to create a soft, cohesive background. Layering these different textures and patterns gave the page a bit more depth and made the focal elements stand out beautifully. Next, I bought in some sentiment strips and rub-ons to add little pops of detail and meaning throughout the layout. These small additions help guide the eye and give the project a more personalized storytelling feel, which is something I really love about this scrapbook style. Now, one of my favorite touches was the small Polaroid style frame that I cut out from one of the pattern papers. I thought it would pair perfectly with the main Polaroid frame holding the photo of my husband and me. Placing them together created a balanced look, almost like a mini collage within the card. At this point, it became all about carefully arranging each piece. We have the florals, some beautiful hearts, even a sentiment ribbon, and all of those beautiful embellishments to pull everything together. I took my time with this layout, adjusting things until I felt it just right. Even though this isn't my usual style, I really enjoyed the creative process and the chance to experiment with layering and composition in different ways. In the end, all the little pieces came together to form a beautiful, heartfelt scrapbook style layout that feels both special and personal. The photo I used for this project dates back to 2016. It was taken during our very first trip together as a married couple. We were exploring the Death Valley, and I remember being completely mesmerized by the landscape. It was unlike anything I'd seen before, vast, silent, and beautifully raw. There was absolutely nothing around us for miles, and yet it felt so full of wonder and meaning. That trip marked the early days of our journey together, and now, nearly a decade later, it feels even more special to look back at where it all began. That's why I thought this scrapbook style layout would make a perfect little keepsake for my husband, a heartfelt reminder of how far we've come and all the memories we've made along the way. The sentiments from the stamp set truly captured how I felt. They were just right for expressing the love, gratitude, and appreciation I carry for him every single day. I genuinely love our story. It's imperfect, real, and ours. And as one of the sentiment strips beautifully says, here's to making many more memories with you. Once my layout was complete, it was time to add some finishing touches with embellishments. I started by placing some warm toned dazzling gems in the centers of the flowers. I used the bright pink gems from the pack to add a pop of color and sparkle. Next, I sprinkled on some of the beautiful sequin mixes from the kit to tie all the elements together and add a little extra shine. I absolutely love how this turned out, and those little embellishments and sequin mixes definitely add a pop of color to this beautiful cut front. Once all the elements were in place, I adhered the completed panel onto a top folding A2 size card base. I absolutely love how this scrapbook style layout turned out. Even though it's a card, I think it would make a stunning framed piece or a lovely addition to a shadow box display. And well, that brings us to the end of this project. I truly enjoyed stepping out of my usual style to create this scrapbook inspired card. It's a heartfelt piece filled with memories, layered details, and personal touches, perfect as a keepsake or even as a framed decor. I hope this inspires you to tell your own stories through paper crafting. I also hope you had fun watching today's video. All the supplies that I used here will be found linked in the description box below. Please note that all of these links are affiliate links, which means that if you shop using one of my links, I'll get a small commission at no cost to you guys. Thank you again for joining me today. Until next time, stay safe.